This is just a real nice surprise. Just a real nice surprise.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch. Mike, one of the senior developers of the 11th Hour Games, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 130. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us kind of a few little teasers. Now, if you don't know, every single Friday, me and my community, we watch the Dev Chat live, and we play Dev Chat Bingo, trying to guess what questions are going to be asked, and I'm happy to say that we got a bingo this week. It's always a lot of fun. If you want to come by on Friday, Aaron Action RPG on Twitch. All right, let's jump in to the first question, and this is around adding things to the monolith, and Mike gives us a little teaser of something that's coming.
Yes, we do plan on adding in more things to make echo runs more exciting and interesting and fun. It's one of those things that as we release cycles and introduce new mechanics, that'll get woven into it. So yeah, the exiled mages are the first of many of that style of mechanic that will show up in monolith echoes. Personally, I'd really like to see indications on the map level, on the timeline level, that says like, oh, this echo's being there's an exiled mage in this echo. Oh, there's a secret mechanic 2 in this echo. And that way you can actively look for it and find it, and still have them be potential to show up randomly. But if you are if you go into one that says it's here, it's guaranteed and you can hunt for it. So I'd really like to see that personally.
Here it comes.
Little icon beside it, you can see it. Related note, we are adding in a search and sort to the search and filter to the saw it coming, thought I could take one. To the timeline web. So this be a little search here with little toggle buttons that was turn different rewards and highlight them and stuff like that. So we are adding that.
Now, it cracks me up that every time, or at least back in the day when Mike died, he would give us a teaser, and that kind of just happened. So we have been asking for a very long time. Oh wait, let me rephrase. We've been asking forever to be able to filter out the monolith, or at least search for the certain nodes we are looking for. That is coming, looks like 1.1. A Linux question leads to another little leak. Listen to this.
Right. Do you plan to implement Vulkan API into Linux version of the game? From what I tested, it suffers in terms of performance, 30% worse FPS on NVIDIA graphics card. I don't know. I think there was some talk about it. There was some problem with it or something. I don't know. I know this came up as a discussion recently. I don't remember what the outcome was. I'm sorry. It's at least on the list of discussion topics, at the very least. But I know there's some stuff that's specifically happening with Steam Deck right now, because it ended up being so incidentally popular. Even though we were like, no, it doesn't work. And people were like, nah, we'll do it anyways.
EHG confirms they're working on Steam Deck. Plus 2 projectiles.
Could there be more generic and fun affixes plus more projectiles, plus returning projectiles, chaining times, etc.? One of the really big strengths that we have with our skill system is being able to do a lot of really cool stuff with it. One of the weaknesses we have with our skill system is that it's not very generic at all. So the additional projectiles for every single skill that has additional projectiles is handled a little bit differently for every single skill that does it. And not every skill does it. Not every skill has it even as an option. So it's having and this goes for all the different types of things like that. But so if say we had one there's a word for them, affix. One affix that was plus 1 projectiles. It would have to be like +1 projectiles for abilities that can have additional projectiles and don't have no projectile nodes taken in their trees. You know, like it's and we also frequently balance the number of projectiles that an ability can have very carefully, because it often has pretty big performance implications. You know, there's other things that cause issues with the number of projectiles too, and there's things that scale off the number of projectiles, and I think that, and I'm just using projectiles as an example for all these types of things, but some of these more generic, more intense, more transformative generic nodes are really iffy. It would have to be a little bit. Something would have to be a little bit more specific about it, I think.
I added this question in here because I found it really interesting. Torchlight Infinite just dropped its new season. We're currently playing it as a community, and I am playing Lethal Flash. And as this question is getting asked, Lethal Flash is a shotgun class where the more projectiles you have, they all hit the same target. And it was just crazy that exactly what I am doing in a different game, the question got asked in LE. More projectiles would be absolutely awesome, but I totally get the flip side of that on performance and breaking it, and now you got a million things on the screen. I don't know. That would be really cool, though. Another small leak and another mic death.
Are you planning to add UI scaling option for items, tooltips, text to make them smaller and larger? It is on the list. We actually I saw someone that just started working on some scaling stuff. I don't know if it's going to be ready in time for 1.0 or 1.1, sorry. Both hands on your keyboard.
You should keep both hands on your keyboard. One hand.
All right. Let's go here. I don't know any details on what UI scaling stuff we started looking at, but we have started looking at it.
I have never heard them confirm that before. UI scaling? Someone's working on it? Nice. New uniques?
The uniques for classes expected in the next cycle. Yeah, there's always new uniques are one of, I think, the easiest and most interesting ways to spice up a class.
Forge Guard.
Both from a design perspective and a development perspective. I think there's a lot of room for, you know, like quick wins, as we like to say, for unique items. And yeah, we add new uniques every patch, and this patch will be no different. Probably not a ton of them coming this patch, but you know, definitely some.
A couple of dev chats ago, Mike said, I think the best way to update Forge Guard is through items. New uniques? Now let's talk leaderboards.
Plans on having separate leaderboard ladder on COF and MG alongside with shared leaderboards. I think I don't think we planned this, but I'm pretty sure it does show who's on which, right?
No.
I could be wrong there. It's a little weird because you can switch. It showed it. I know we talked about having it show it.
Mike's gonna start drawing.
Look, couldn't I? I guess it doesn't show it. Why is it not loading? Oh, I saw a screenshot. This is gonna tell you nothing because I don't know what it was for. I saw a screenshot of a mock-up that had something here. It had like these were pushed over a little bit, and it had like a window mocked up here, like full height. I don't know what it was. Maybe we're adding that to it. There's something going there.
I count that as a leak. All right, everyone. Unfortunately, we have come to the final question for Dev Chat 130. Mike's going to start drawing again, and he's going to be talking about movement and canceling. It is actually very informative and interesting. Mike, thank you for continuing your Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. It really sets EHG apart from all the other studios. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1. I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. If I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. It is the best way to support into the future. You get access to movie night, you get access to game night, you get access to the VIP lounge, you get access to exclusive content. It's the first link in the description. I'm done. Mike, take it away.
What was your favorite feature? Said that any plans to improve character movement and responsiveness, also skill queuing and animation canceling to traversal skills. I mean, you are there's a certain point that you get into with any ability that you can't cancel it once it's at that. There's like a window. There's a 3 stages to an ability. Boop. Ability timeline. This is button press. You push the button. And now there is a little delay, and these points happen differently for every ability. Just put them all here. This is push the button. And then it's doing some sort of like lead up casting animation, something like that. There's a VFX happening, and then the ability object gets created. It's here, woohoo! The ability exists in the world. That ability object does its thing. For a movement ability, for example, that is causing you to move. For fireball, that's like a fireball existing, whatever. But in the casting process of it, there's a point where, so like this is still like you're still in your casting animation. This is where casting animation ends, and you're chilling again. There's a point here for every ability where it's called our set a low priority ratio, where you can use a high priority skill, and it will snap you out of like this whole section here. You can use a high priority ability and it will snap you out of the animation. This does exist in the game already. Walking is a high priority skill. All movement abilities are high priority skills. They will all break you out of this early. So you can, by stutter stepping, actually increase your DPS a tiny bit with some skills. Yeah. I should probably check that last statement I just made about increasing your DPS by stutter stepping. We may have put something in that means you can't actually start a new ability until this point. No, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you can start a new ability here. So I'm just making it go faster. I don't know if you can. Doesn't really matter right now. Anyways, there's no queuing right now. The abilities that are held down are kind of in that queue. So like if you're holding down one ability and you start holding on another one, it does get queued in. So I started holding on my right mouse and then started holding on my left, or my Q, and my mana is gonna screw me over here. It will use the Q before it uses Acid Flask again if you're holding them both down. So there's kind of a priority for next ability queuing that does exist. But while you're in that first section of an ability, if you press another ability in that section, it won't wait for the first one to finish and then use the second one. You do have to be pressing the new ability when you are able to use it still.